Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show, podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the Talk and Power podcast. And on this episode, we got with us James McDonald all the way from Shannons. Thanks for joining us, James. How are you?
No worries at all, Nick. I'm very good.
Look, some exciting news you've unveiled this week in terms of a calendar and getting the racing season off and running. So Shannons involved heavily in the Motorsports Australia. It's a 4-round calendar you're putting out there. So can you give us just a brief rundown on each of the 4 rounds that have been locked away?
Yeah, certainly. We're very excited that Motorsport Australia has been able to get these 4 rounds off the ground. We are still waiting on a date, I will mention, for round 4, but certainly for round 1, 2 and 3. Starting on the 15th to 16th of August at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yep.
That's round 1. And that will include the majority of the categories, as far as I know at this stage. The Australian Racing Group will have TCR and S5000, as well as some of the Porsche Cup and other categories there. Round 2 is actually the original date for Sandown, which is the 12th to 13th of September. They haven't changed that.
Yep.
And following on, we've got round 3 at the Bend, which I believe is the first time that the Shannons Motorsport Australia Championships has been to the Bend. I could be wrong there.
Yeah, okay. No, that is excellent news. And then it's a TBA for Phillip Island, depending on a number of things. And then there's also some further rounds as well for November and December, pending category interest. So,
yeah, certainly. I think what we're looking at there is it's probably more to do with getting the dates sorted with the venues rather than interest, but we'll have to play that one by year.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, I think this is exciting times for motorsport in Australia. A lot of the commentary has been hijacked by, I shouldn't say hijacked, but a lot of the commentary has been focused on the AFL and the NRL, and in terms of getting their sporting structures back into place and getting games happening again, which is fine. They need to get games underway as well, but motorsport in Australia supports, I don't think we can actually quantify the dollar value that motorsport in Australia actually supplies, and it's an industry of its own. And a lot of people kind of laugh. They don't think about that statement, but to get motorsport happening again in Australia is so crucial, and there's people's jobs at stake here. So, I think I take my hat off to Shannons and also to Motorsports Australia to get this away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're very excited. It's still early days. I mean, this is a preliminary announcement. We don't have a full return to racing. I mean, there's not going to be spectators for these first 4 rounds at this stage, but very much so. We're excited to be able to again support the rounds for sure.
Yeah. No, I think it is excellent news. So the ARG Australian Racing Group has confirmed it'll be definitely TCR and S5000, but we're also looking at what was previously known as the GT3 Cup, Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge, GT Championship, the Australian Prototype Series, the Gulf Western Touring Car Masters, and also the National Trans Am Series. So that's some pretty exciting categories there that we're looking forward to seeing coming back.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that there is the majority of the 9 categories that are represented in the Shannons Motorsport Australia Championships. Say that a lot; it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a fantastic series. I will mention at this stage, I don't believe some of those categories will be at the Bend, but we'll play that one by year. It's still early days.
Yeah, most certainly. Now, here's something that I didn't know, and in my research in preparing for this interview, I've since found out, and I probably should have known, but I didn't. S5000 is going to be it's a return of the coveted Motorsports Australia Gold Star. So from this year onwards, the Gold Star is being brought back. Now, that's been in hiatus for 2 or 3 years now, I believe.
I think my reading was 2014 was the last time it was awarded. So we're up to 6 years now. So certainly due for a return, and we're very excited for this platform to be where they're looking for the drivers.
Look, I'm an advocate, a big advocate for the S5000, and I've said it from the start. And I think open wheel racing in Australia certainly has a place. And if we look in the history of the Gold Star in the years gone by, there's some big names there that have won that. And I think, you know, having it back in the S5000, let's call a spade a spade. The S5000 is now the premier open wheel class in Australia. So really happy to see that back. I was quite excited, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. We're excited as well. I mean, what's not to be excited? It's great racing.
Yeah, yep. Now, James, the return to race strategy from Motorsports Australia, no doubt, played a part in getting all this happening. So I must say, Motorsports Australia did a magnificent job in a strategy. We spoke about it on the podcast a few episodes ago. So bringing this to the fore and publishing that document out to the wider public has been a great story and a not so much a feel good story, but it was a very positive story. And you know, we're only 2 weeks into that strategy being released, and we've got, you know, four races earmarked to go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it provides a pretty firm strategy and a good outlook for what to expect and a positive pathway, like you said.
Now, James, as we know, these events won't be run with spectators, but for those of us that will be watching from afar, this will be live streamed on the Motorsports Australia Championship website. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep. No, really looking forward to seeing that. Now, while we're here, while we're talking, can you just give us, is there any other Shannons events that have been rescheduled and that are coming up soon?
Not so much that we've got set in stone. Certainly, we're looking forward to Targa Southwest and Targa West with those dates, and fingers crossed for us in WA that we can see those go forwards. Yeah, we don't have anything else that's set in stone at this stage, but we are in discussions with other event organisers and seeing what's available and dates and things like that. So over the coming weeks, we'd expect some more announcements from other club organisers or club and event organisers, I should say. But at the moment, we're still in lockdown as far as events go with mass gatherings of people.
Yeah, most certainly.
Saying that though, we do have a Shannons virtual show and shine happening at the moment. So it's on the Shannons Club website. And we're actually giving away a fair bit of cash for that. So we've just completed week 3 as of last weekend.
Yep.
This week is week 4. And if you haven't seen that already, I'd definitely go on and have a check.
I had a brief check last night, and it's quite impressive. So I'm gonna enter the XW. Actually, I'm gonna get some good pics of it and get that on there as well.
Well, best of luck. Hopefully, we can send you some cash.
That would be nice. But we're not. We're not. We've got to have fingers crossed. Let's put it that way. Hey, look, James. Look, we really appreciate your time on coming on the podcast. If people want information, where can they go? Shannons.com.au. Is there anywhere else?
Yeah, certainly. So shannons.com.au/club. There's all of our events that we are attending will be published on that website. And that goes for WA and Australia wide. And if you want more information specifically on the Shannons Motorsport Australia Championships, the Motorsport Australia Championships website is another good place to go for information.
Sure. James, the other one as well, End of an Era. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I've seen that's been plugged quite heavily on commercial TV at the moment. Where can we go to see that? Because I've seen some of that, and I must admit it's really good viewing. Yeah,
certainly. Again, the shannons.com.au/club, we post all of the content there, as well as the Shannons YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll share that on the Talk and Power page as well. That way you can, for those that are listening to the podcast, they can go there and have a look at that. James, really appreciated catching up with you again. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on the podcast. And we'll catch up with you, no doubt, next month. And hopefully we've got another 2 or 3 events that we can tack on the end here and have some other good news to say. So really looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on.
No worries at all, thanks.
Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.